Hey everybody, Golden Boy here, and Merry Christmas Eve. I have a special video for you this weekend. It's just going to be really quick because everybody's got to get to bed early. You know how it is. Spend time with some family. But I was thinking about it, and this has been a pretty good year for One Piece, and I wanted to reflect on the banger chapters that we got throughout the course of 2021. So it should be a pretty quick video, but here, please join me for the 2021 One Piece Year in Review. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm actually still pretty new to the world of One Piece. Don't get me wrong, I'm obsessed with it, for sure. I've read the entire story once, and then I went through and I watched the anime all the way through, and now for Christmas I actually ordered the One Piece box sets online. I started rereading the series again. Right now I'm at about the Bratier arc at the time of this recording. So it might seem like I'm a huge One Piece fan because I am. But I've only been a One Piece fan for about a year or so. I got sent home from college in March of 2020, and I picked up One Piece, and I've just been kind of running with it ever since. In fact, if I remember correctly, chapter 1000 was the first chapter where I caught up and I began reading weekly. It was when I became current. I distinctly remember catching up and then reading chapter 1000 around New Year's, and I wanted more. It's like they say, people that don't know One Piece, they're usually like scared to start, and they think there are too many chapters, but real fans know that in reality there aren't enough chapters. But chapter 1000 came out, like I said, about New Year's last year, and this was my first time reading weekly, and honestly I don't mind it. It gives me more time to dive deeper into the details and get excited for things week by week. So I decided to reread chapters 1000 through 1035 and give my review because honestly, I don't remember a single meh chapter this year. I think they might have all been bangers, but I'll give a couple sentence recap of each chapter, and I'll give a score, 1 out of 10 for each. So let's begin. Chapter 1000. I'll give chapter 1000 a 9.5 out of 10. I like this one. We see a flashback with Ace that gives us information that Luffy has an ultimate dream beyond becoming Pirate King. Plus, we also get the beginning of RoofPiece, the new generation of pirates that will defeat the Yonko, ending with Luffy hitting Kaido with a big Rio attack called Red Rock, declaring that he'll be king. RoofPiece is really exciting, and I think that's why 2021 was so awesome, the RoofPiece. Alright, up next, chapter 1001. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. And this is probably one of the better fighting scenes I've ever watched, or read rather. Luffy is inducted into Kaido's League of Legends as one of the few people that have ever damaged him. Luffy, Law, and Kid have a funny moment where all three endure an attack to prove that they're not scrubs. Meanwhile, Zoro and Killer have a little friendly rivalry themselves. Finally, Luffy, Law, and Kid all hit with their strongest attacks against Kaido, so that was pretty dope. Chapter 1002, I'll give that one an 8.5 out of 10. It's similar to the previous chapter. 1002 is a fight-centered chapter with each supernova kind of landing a hit on Kaido, and then Luffy didn't even dodge Kaido's attack. He used his guts to block a Oro breath. Chapter 1003, we'll go back up to a 9 out of 10 because we see some more great fighting choreography. Luffy barrages Kaido with like an elephant gatling. Zoro also cut Kaido and made him bleed, defending his captain. And we also got some CP0 hype and foreshadowing for the Toby Roppo fights, ending by Kaido showing his hybrid form. We don't get to see it yet, but we saw that he's in it. Chapter 1004 is a 9 out of 10. We see Tama start to even the odds, and we even get some Frankie Sasaki action. Black Maria has Sanji tied up, she's demanding Robin, and it ends with a mystery figure that healed the scabbards. I remember reading this one weekly, because everybody thought it was going to be a no, and we were kind of freaking out. Chapter 1005, I give that one a 9.5 out of 10, because we get Sanji over the loudspeaker begging Robin to come save him. All of the Beast Pirates think Sanji's pathetic, like what kind of man does this? He's luring Robin into a trap. But in reality, Sanji trusts that Robin can handle this fight. We know that Sanji would rather just let himself sit there and die than burden a Straw Hat, let alone a woman. So that was an interesting moment. We also get both Yamato and Black Maria topless in one chapter, so wow. We also get a lot of good Robin emotion here, where she smacks Black Maria and says, "Sanji, you've made my day. as well as our first Robin fight since Skypiea, so this was a really hype chapter, 9.5 out of 10. Chapter 1006, I'll give that one an 8.5 out of 10. We finally get to see some Marco action. That was cool. It's a really cool devil fruit, so I was happy to see him holding back king and queen. And then Hyogoro, he awakened, and so he's this big bad man. Chapter 1007, I'll give that one a 9 out of 10. This is where we see some exciting Chopper moments, including my favorite Chopper moment, him punching Queen, saying, "I'm not a Tanuki." Then we also try to figure out who healed the scabbards, as Odin appears. Seemingly Odin. Chapter 1008, I'll also give that one a 9 out of 10. We get to see that Odin was actually a fake, and we got some good Ashura Doji sacrifice action. He kind of jumped on the bomb for the boys. We learned that Momo can hear Luffy somehow, and they decide to split up the Yonko upstairs, and we see Kaido's hybrid form for the first time, and I think that's when I really thought that Kaido's devil fruit is really cool. It just looks so satisfying with the scales. Chapter 1009, I'll give this one a 9.5 out of 10. We see Orochi die, quote unquote, at the hands of the scabbards. Zoro gets to do some dope shit as he blocks that Yonko combined attack, the Ocean Sovereignty. He actually blocked it, only for a couple seconds, but he blocked it. Then Luffy attacks Kaido, and as Kaido dodges, Luffy smiles and laughs, teasing him, saying, "Kaido, you must be scared to get hit if you're gonna dodge it." Finally, Law executes a plan to knock Big Mom off of Onigashima, so that was hype. Chapter 1010 is truly a 10 out of 10, one of the best One Piece chapters ever. We get to see that Big Mom was saved by Prometheus, and he asked her for a mysterious favor. Ooh. Meanwhile, Zoro puts his all into a final attack. He says, "If I don't kill him with this, I'm done." And it's revealed that his Ashura that he used is a form of Conqueror's haki. Then finally, Luffy wakes up and explains Conqueror's coding, hitting Kaido without even making contact, telling everyone to leave the fight to him. That was crazy. Chapter 1011, it's an 8 out of 10. 1010's a hard act to follow. It's because Luffy and Kaido have some good action upstairs, and Killer and he takes on Hawkins, and Kid continues to go look for Big Mom. Meanwhile, Big Mom finds Tama and kind of protects her, destroying Page 1. Chapter 1012, I'll give that one an 8.5 out of 10. Yamato rushes to the roof to help Luffy, and Sanji carries Zoro around in that little splint thing. And finally, Big Mom tries to take down Ulti, but Nami beats her to the punch because Ulti hurt Tama, and Nami steps up to avenge her friend. Chapter 1013, 9 out of 10. We see Nami versus Ulti just for a little bit until Big Mom uses a combined attack called that Mazer Beam or Mazer Cannon, I think, to take down Ulti. Then Zeus gets attacked by Hera, and as a parting gift, Nami attempted to feed him the Thunderballs. Finally, Luffy was defeated and thrown off of Onigashima. Chapter 1014 is a 9 out of 10. Luffy is thrown into the sea, and Kaido taunts him, saying, "Seems you couldn't be Joy Boy either." Momo realizes that he can't afford to die, maybe because he's an ancient weapon, I don't know. And we get some updates from the live floor, ending the chapter with Kiku being defeated, and then Kinemon defeating Kanjuro, and then Kaido comes down to take on Kinemon. Chapter 1015 was a 9.5 out of 10. Sanji came to the live floor, and he delivered Zoro to Chopper. Meanwhile, Kinemon is seemingly killed by Kaido. I say seemingly because nobody ever dies. And Momonosuke delivers the announcement to Onigashima that Luffy's alive and he's still gonna win. Not gonna lie, when I read that, I teared up, man. I don't know why. And then I reread it a couple days later and I teared up again. For whatever reason, that was a very powerful moment for me. Luffy's body is found by Law's crew underwater. Momo and Shinobu jump off the island, and Law teams up with Kid, and then Yamato makes it to the rooftop to face off against her father. 9.5 out of 10. Chapter 1016 is also 9.5 out of 10. We get to see Zeus make a home in Nami's climate tag, and she finishes off Ulti for real this time. And I remember seeing this, and I decided it's time to stop sleeping on Nami. Nami's strong. She's got the striking power of a Yonko. And we also get some good Kaido versus Yamato action up on the roof. Chapter 10-17, I'll give that one a 9 out of 10. We see Tama tame the gifters to even the odds. We also get Who's Who to introduce his attacks, the Rokushiki. And then he also reveals that he was a CP9 member, and he was in prison for losing the Gum Gum fruits. Chapter 10-18, I'm giving it 10 out of 10. We get some really good fighting from Jinbei, which is good to see. Some confirmation on the status of Who's Who as a CP9 member, and the revelation of Sun God Nika, and I promise that this is going to be very, very important by the end. Chapter 10-19, I'm also going to give it a 10 out of 10. It's one of the coolest choreographed fights I've seen. Oh my god, I loved it. I don't know why. I don't even really like Frankie that much, but Frankie has some of the best fights. This one is Frankie as he takes on the Triceracopter, and this is actually rivaling Frankie versus Senor Pink for me. I love this fight. And we also get to see Yamato's hybrid form, so that was crazy. Chapter 10-20, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I love Robin. I wanted to see her 1v1 somebody for a long time now. Plus, we get the Yamato fruit reveal, the name of her fruit. And then Robin also coined the phrase, Wings of the Future Pirate King. Chapter 10-21, guess what? 10 out of 10. I screamed. And I saw Robin's Demonia Fleur form, and she snapped Black Maria in half. The flashback to the Revolutionary Army was also so sick, and Momo even asked to become an adult. That's crazy. Chapter 10-22, it just keeps rolling. I have a 10 out of 10. This is, the very least, for the final panel when Marco steps aside and he says, it's time to let the real stars take the stage. And then Zoro and Sanji have that big moment. And, I was thinking Luffy's broken at this point. But right here in this chapter 10-22, this is the beginning of where I start to think of the Wings as the Pirate King as actually Yonko level commander. This is the very first step of me thinking of them as Yonko commanders. And coming out of Wano, they're going to be that strong. And this is how Oda shows us. 10-23, 10 out of 10. We get the idea of Sanji and King both being Lunarian, as well as Zoro being related to Ryoma the Sword God and Ushimaru. So we're getting some really good mysteries to talk about here. 10-24, guess what? Banger, 10 out of 10. Yamato is revealed to have Conqueror's haki, and we meet Ushimaru in a Yamato flashback. That's crazy. 10-25, 10 out of 10. This is 10 in a row. See, I told you, 2021 is a really good year. But what I was saying was, chapter 10-25, 10 out of 10. We get adult Momonosuke, and he conquers his fear to face Kaido. They start crashing through all of Onigashima, and they get him up to the rooftop. Chapter 10-26, 10 out of 10. Luffy motivates Momo to bite Kaido, facing his fear. And this was just that seemed like a future classic One Piece moment. You just bit a Yonko. Is there anything that you could still be scared of? And then he proves to everybody that he's going to 1v1 Kaido and win. Luffy splits the sky. Oh my god, he splits the sky. And then Jack and Perospero are defeated by the Dukes. 10-27, finally I'm going to drop it back down to a 9.5, which is still a really good chapter. Luffy takes Kaido 1v1, and Zoro cracks open King's mask. So that's something really exciting to see what our first Lunarian might look like. And this is where everyone said, why is he darker? Why is Zoro always facing the darker skinned people? Is he racist? Chapter 10-28, back up. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Rob Lucci is reintroduced into the story. CP0 gets ready to invade. They're in their boats. They're coming. This is a really good queen fight too. And then Sanji even shows his signs of transforming as his body becomes more durable. Chapter 10-29, I'll give that one a 9.5 out of 10. Sanji discovers more about his abilities and past, while Killer defeats Hawkins. It was in a pretty predictable way, but it was still really cool to watch. Chapter 10-30, 10 out of 10, as that Kazenbo, that flame spirit, was introduced, and then Law and Kid both awaken. Oh my god. When they awakened, not only was that helpful for us as we understand better, about awakenings, we learn more about that. It's also low-key confirmation that Luffy is going to awaken in Wano as well. It's not confirmation, but I would be very surprised if Luffy doesn't awaken as well. Chapter 1032. Nope, sorry, I skipped one. 1031. I'd give that one a 10 out of 10. Sanji starts to lose himself, and it comes into question, did he hit a woman? He tries to figure out what he should be. Should I be a soldier of science or not? He decides ultimately to destroy the raid suit, and he called up Zoro and said, yo, Zoro, if after this battle I'm not myself, I want you to kill me. Chapter 1032, give it a 10 out of 10. CP0 make their move, and they start coming down. They challenge Supernovas in X-Drake and Apu. King shows his face attack when he stretched his face back. It was super weird. And then Hiyori is revealed to Orochi. She comes back as Komerasaki, and she's playing her shamisen. Chapter 1033, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. It's giving more of a Zoro flashback, and it explains cursed blades, which is really interesting, that these cursed blades aren't actually cursed. Blades are just meant to kill, and if you're not strong enough to handle the blade, it doesn't respect you. Kozaburo explains that. And it ends with Zoro mastering the advanced Conqueror's haki. Zoro is at that level. He's right up there with Luffy now. Chapter 1034, 10 out of 10. Sanji faces Queen's German tech head on, and then he uses his own invisibility and the exoskeleton to defeat him with the Ifrit Jambe. And then 1035, that's also 10 out of 10. Zoro figures out the secret of King's race. As the fire on his back is lit, he's harder to hurt, he's more durable. When it goes out, he's got like super speed, but you can at least hurt him. We get a full face reveal from King, and Zoro seemingly defeats King by destroying his giant magma dragon attack. And looking at it, it's looking like these chapters 1000 through 1035 is what we got for 2021, and oh my god, they were all good. I mean, you heard how many of those were 10 out of 10 for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 17. Yeah, it was like 17 of them I thought were 10 out of 10s. Then the rest of them were like 9.5s or 9s. I think the lowest rating I gave was an 8. I think overall this was a fantastic year. So obviously your opinions might be different. Let me know what you think about this year. I'm really excited to see what we got for 2022 with One Piece as well, because I'm just loving this series. And if you're excited to see what I think is going to happen in 2022, then make sure to watch out for my next video. I think on Wednesday I'm probably going to drop my New Year's predictions for how I think Wano is going to wrap up. But without further ado, I'm going to get back to my family and I'll let you get back to yours. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay golden. Bye now.